We're alive.
Okay, so unfortunately, YouTube is not streaming right now, but I think that's okay, right?
I think that's fine.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties at the beginning, as always. Welcome. So, my name is Marina. I'm going to be your instructor for this evening, and I'm joined here by my fiance, Alex.
Hello there.
Wow,
Hello,
so
hello.
so mellow today.
You know,
It's a Tuesday. You got to turn it up.
going up on a Tuesday.
How's everyone doing? How was your Memorial Day weekend? Hope it was more fun than ours.
Oh, just washed out of a weekend. It was so wet this weekend, so much rain.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but New York was rainy all weekend, which,
But obviously, on a positive note,
of course,
Chelsea won the
always.
Champions League.
Okay. So, welcome, guys. Please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you're drinking tonight. I know it's Tuesday, but it
Your
feels like Friday.
first time painter.
You're a first time painter. So, tonight we are going to be painting Tropic Like It's Hot. Alex, you did not name this one.
I think it's very clear that I did not name this one.
I don't know about that.
Well, you know.
So, we are going to give you guys about 5 minutes or so to set up because we're starting a little bit later tonight. So, in the meantime, grab a drink, continue your setup. I'm gonna go over my setup over here. You ready, Alex?
Oh, I'm so ready.
We have some new colors today. So,
Stop it. You know I love a good new color name.
well, we have a very basic name for this one. But maybe you could come up with something more
You
fun.
just brought me down to earth in a very harsh fashion.
Okay, so we have our 12 by 12 canvas.
12 by 12. Check.
We have our palette paper shiny side up.
Shiny side up. Very important. Check.
We have our 5 colors of paint. And hold up, I'm gonna tell you what they are.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check. Ha! Just kidding.
We have white, phthalo blue, yellow, raw sienna, and red.
White.
You don't have to
Phthalo
repeat them.
blue. Hacienda? Is that what you said?
Raw sienna.
Russ.
Raw,
No, I
raw.
heard you the second time.
Like raw meat,
No,
raw
I
sienna.
get it.
Okay. And guys, just make sure to put your colors onto either a palette or your palette paper, just so you have plenty of room to mix. You see how I have a lot of room over here to mix all these colors together. I'm super excited. So then we have our cup with water.
Check.
We have 2 brushes.
2 brushes.
Hold
One
up.
brush.
Oh,
Oh,
you want to say it? Go
no.
ahead.
I'll go first.
So we have a small round brush size 4 and a large flat brush size 16.
Round, size 4, flat, size 16, double
And
check, 10-4.
and we have
Special edition,
a special edition
special edition.
fan brush,
Fan
which
brush.
we're using for the first time.
Hello, who's excited? This
I'm
guy.
so excited. And this is actually a firm bristle brush. It's not the soft kind.
Firm bristle, check.
And you guys could use any size you want. If you're using a small canvas, you could use a smaller fan brush. So anywhere between like a 2 and an 8 would be perfect. If you have something slightly bigger, that's also fine. You could use just like the side of it. And then what did I forget? I have my step-by-step instructions over here.
Let me get those, check.
Then I have my sample piece.
Sample piece, check.
Okay, and then last but not least,
Very much not
I
least.
have my summary adult beverage,
Summary, adult, not paint water.
not paint water,
Hello.
clearly labeled. So, what did you mix me today? Can
Listen,
you tell me, please?
it's my own little magical thing. I enjoy a nice mezcal.
Okay, you fancy?
But then we throw in, but we make it a grapefruit marg. Meets mezcal,
Oh, that's
smoky,
what it
delicious.
is.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you. And you put some lime juice in there? I taste the lime.
Well, you gotta for a good marg.
Also, this could be coffee or this could be water. No
Or
one really knows.
it's all obviously coffee.
It's, yeah. So who knows?
Who else is drinking a good cup of coffee?
It's a little late for that. And Alex, what do you have
I
tonight?
have what I made. What do you mean? I made it
I'm just
two
making
cups.
sure. I mean, I don't know what you put in
Relax
mine.
yourself.
Okay, so we have someone from Georgia. Ooh, from Denver, from Illinois, I see. Awesome. Welcome, guys.
I like it all over.
Yeah, do we have an international crew tonight?
The Canadians always come in strong.
And yes, someone picked up on our accent. We are from New York.
I mean, I have rarely been told that I have
I've been told I have a heavy Brooklyn accent.
I have not been told that I have a New York accent.
So originally, not originally, but living in Brooklyn for like 25 years and just moved to Queens. So I'm still a Brooklyn girl at heart.
Whatever.
Okay. Donna, welcome. Okay, so we are ready to get started. Oh, I forgot one additional item. You ready for this? We've never used this before.
Color.
So I have some painter's tape. So this is totally optional. It's just gonna help you create straight lines. So this is just a pro tip, but you don't need to use that. If you can create straight lines without it, perfect.
Okay, so
Okay.
like hot audible on the extra material.
So
I see you.
maybe, maybe not, some painter's tape.
I see you.
Okay,
Let's see where
Alex,
it
you
goes.
ready?
I'm ready. I've raised it, my brush in the air.
Okay, so we are gonna begin with our pledge. So please raise your brush in your right hand. Please repeat after me. I promise
I promise
to relax and have fun,
to relax and have fun,
to not judge my painting
and not judge my painting
or the painting of others,
or the painting of others,
and to be fearless.
and to be fearless. Woo-
Cheers, clink clink.
Woohoo!
You're too far away.
Clinkies.
All right, guys, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are gonna mix a light blue color. So we are gonna use a lot of white and just a little bit of the blue.
Phthalo blue or just blue?
Phthalo blue. Well, we're using phthalo blue. And phthalo blue makes the perfect sky color.
Yes.
You concur. Okay, so I'm gonna lift this up so you guys can see what I'm mixing. So I'm making a light blue color. And we are gonna start off with our sky. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw the horizon line. So I'm gonna make it maybe a little bit higher than halfway up and just draw it across.
5/8, would you say?
This is so crooked. And don't worry, we're gonna fix it later on with the tape. So it doesn't really matter what it looks like right now, it's just as a guide for you. So we see that? Perfect. Remember not to judge my painting, please.
I am in
Thank
full
you.
support.
Thank you. So I'm just gonna start painting this a light blue across the top. And just remember, guys, this is your painting. So if you want to make your sky pink or purple or yellow, you're more than welcome to go crazy and do something totally different. Right, Alex?
Absolutely. Nice purple sky. Vino, eveningish.
Or dawn.
Or dawn. Very true.
So you can use just a little bit of water on your brush just to spread the color around a little bit more easily. And I'm just going with horizontal strokes across.
It does make a nice light sky blue.
Right? You hear the paint strokes? I don't think so.
A little bit. It's soothing.
It is, but I don't think my mic picks up on it.
Probably for the best.
So then I'm gonna just add more white to my color and
Just a
just
little bit.
continue just a little bit. And then I'm just gonna continue painting the sky with white all the way down to my horizon line. And don't make it too perfect. Like you don't wanna have two perfect stripes of a light blue and then the white. You wanna kind of have a gradual blend. So you could take the white a little bit higher in certain areas and then a little bit lower in other parts of your sky. So as long as it doesn't look like two perfect stripes. And I'm taking my white right into the blue and just seeing the two colors blend together. So you could take it even all the way up if you want to, and it kind of just all blends.
Just blend it all.
Blend it all. I feel like this is one of our more relaxing paintings because it's a lot of just like,
A very soothing scene.
yeah, and it's also a very soothing scene and very soothing, cool color palette. Cool as in like blue. Cool colors.
Just.
I don't think you
Well,
picked up on that. It's okay. It's
I'm
okay.
not sure it's properly implicated.
So I'm just taking this white and I'm going into the blue just to blend it a little bit so that it's not so stripy. And with acrylic, it's really cool because you could just cover it up completely once it dries and you can never make any mistakes because you just literally paint right over it.
There's no wrong answer. Art.
Exactly. You can make your sky purple or pink or yellow or whatever you want. It's your imagination.
Oh yes.
We don't judge over here.
Hashtag creatively. Hi Janet.
So while my paint is still wet, I'm gonna add a little bit of pink to the bottom. You ready for this? So my pink is gonna be super subtle,
Like
but
how subtle?
like very subtle where you could kind of barely see it in here. I mean, you could kind of see it in this sample piece, but it's gonna be super subtle. And if you wanna do more of a sunset where the colors are a lot brighter, you could just use a brighter red and not mix it with white. So just definitely experiment. If you don't like the color, you could always just cover it up with white.
That's right. That's the beauty of acrylic.
Yeah. So right now my color is too dark, so I'm just gonna take a lot of white and I'm just gonna make it a lot lighter. You ready for this? I don't know what it's gonna look like, but let's see. Okay, so
I don't
I'm
know if
going
I'm ready,
right.
but like I'm Ready.
Huh?
So I don't know if I'm ready, but like I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. So I'm just going into here with this red. So this actually looks pretty intense. So I'm just gonna wash my brush and I'm gonna go back over it with the white. And for those of you guys who are wondering if you could replay this video, and so it's going to be available on Facebook and on YouTube after our stream. And while you're watching live, you could actually pause or rewind it as well.
There you
So it
go.
won't be too live, but it'll be
What's
sort of
your
live.
YouTube channel name?
So our YouTube channel name is Creatively Box.
There
So
you go.
it's the same as our Facebook.
Love it. Simplicity is key.
Everything is the same. So our Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest. We do have a Pinterest.
Oh,
So I'm just going over this pink color with the white just to blend it out a bit. It's a little bit intense. And again, guys, it's not perfect. So it's going up in certain places. So on the right side, it's a little bit higher. On the left side, it's a little bit lower. So it's nature.
listen, the Earth is round, right? Like it's curved. So there you go.
I don't know if that made any sense, but okay.
And did it not make sense? Is the real question. Made perfect sense to me.
Okay, so this is our sky. So just keep blending it until you like the colors. So you could also add a little bit of yellow in the middle if you want. You could add a little bit of orange. So it really depends on if you want your sky to be a sunset or dawn or in the middle of the day. So ours, Alex, what would you say? Is this more like dawn or is this daytime? A little bit dawnish to me.
I would go more towards the dusk.
Towards the dusk.
Dusk, a little sunset.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, it's Alex's imagination. I can't say no to that. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my brush. And I'm gonna start working on my ocean. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a stripes looking thing at the top of my ocean. So I'm just taking the phthalo blue. So the phthalo blue is actually a really dark blue, so I don't need to mix it with anything. But if you guys are using a primary blue or something a little bit lighter, you could mix it with a little bit of black, or you could mix it even with a little bit of red to get a darker color. So just play around until you get the color that you want. So mine is already pretty dark. I need to turn away.
There you go.
Okay, and I'm gonna begin painting the back of my ocean. So the farthest part is gonna be darker. And I'm just going again in horizontal strokes, and my line is not gonna be perfect. But we'll fix it later on.
We could always go over it.
Oh wow, that's pretty crooked.
Do you like see it on the
I don't,
canvas and then
it looks
verify
so
the
different on
screen?
my screen. It just, because I'm looking at it from an angle, I guess. So it looks so straight here. And then I look at it on camera, I'm like, wow, a little crooked. Okay, so this is my stripe. So we are gonna fix it a little bit later on once your sky dries a little bit.
Smart.
Okay, I'm so tempted to do it right now, but I don't want to put tape on this yet.
Save it.
Okay, so this is probably the most fun color to make from this painting. So we are gonna make a crystal clear beach blue. And that's not an official name.
A
We need to
crystal clear
beach blue.
beach blue.
CCBB. Maybe that could be the acronym.
That's
But
definitely not a thing.
okay, so we are gonna take some blue and I'm gonna just raise this up. We're gonna take some blue. We're gonna take some white. And this is gonna take a little bit of time to get the color that you want. And then we're gonna take a little bit of yellow. See what happens.
Some yellow, you say?
This is actually starting to look pretty good. So this is looking pretty good, and I could just try it out on my canvas just to see what it actually looks like. So maybe you need a little bit more white, maybe you need a little bit more yellow. So just play around with it, keep mixing it until you get the color that you like, and then try it out on your canvas. And if you don't like it, then continue mixing it and try it out on your canvas again. Kind of like a trial and error type of thing.
You just, keep trying it out.
So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint where I want my shoreline to be. So this is just an approximation. So I'm gonna do a diagonal line somewhere like that. And it could be kind of crooked. It doesn't need to be perfectly straight.
Kind of angle we're talking. 45. Higher,
Looks a
obtuse,
little bit less than 45.
a little cute.
So then I'm gonna go right into this blue. And just start covering my canvas with this color. So I want these two colors to blend a little bit, so I'm going right into this blue. So I could actually wash my brush and then go back in with blue just to bring it back here, because right now I made it a little bit too light here, so I could always just bring it back. So I could go back in here and just add a little bit more blue here. That way it kind of blends in a little bit. And then I'm gonna go back in and add the, what was it called again, Alex? The crystal clear
Crystal clear
beach blue.
beach blue. CCBB. AA.
That was good. If anyone has any name suggestions for this specific color,
We will
please,
gladly
we will
accept.
gladly take it.
Bar has been set
Very low.
low.
I don't know, I'm kind of digging this name.
Are you?
No.
Exactly.
So this is looking a little bit too yellow for my liking. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of blue to my color. Oh wow, someone's using our name. Cool. We just made it a thing. Okay, so the way that you mix this color is
Let's not make it a thing.
okay, you add some white So white is going to be your primary color, and then you add a little bit of blue to it and a little bit of yellow. So the yellow is the least amount of color that you add. You add a little bit more blue and then a lot of white. So just keep mixing it until you get the color that you like. And I'm just mixing more and more as I go. I need a lot of it. So I'll show you guys what I'm mixing here. So I'm taking a lot of white and then adding just a little bit of blue. And then just a little bit of yellow. Looking pretty good to me, so I'm just going to keep going.
It's like almost your favorite color, a little
Is it?
turquoise.
I like turquoise. And this color is just so soothing, right?
It is very relaxing. It's like when you see an ocean like that, you feel like it's a clear ocean, and it's like a clean ocean, like very Saint Martin esque.
Never been. Have you?
That is why I said. Probably the clearest waters I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just mixing more of this color. Okay, this is looking really pretty, this color right now. So I'm just gonna go into here. Just do this shoreline. So the shoreline doesn't need to be perfect. So it doesn't need to be a perfect line across. So it's kind of just going into here because what we want to do is we want to add the sand and blend it into the ocean so that way it's going to look clear
There you go.
and transparent. Because otherwise, if we just end the shoreline here and then have the sand starting right after it, it's not going to look like it's clear. They need to blend into each other.
Hashtag art.
I don't know if that was appropriate. Okay, so for you, it was Saint Martin, the clearest water. What about for you guys? Where have you seen the clearest beach water? Maybe it's in the
Ooh,
US, who
that's a
knows?
good question.
While people are pondering, we are gonna do the sand.
Let's do it.
Okay, so for the sand, we are gonna take the raw sienna,
Hacienda.
raw sienna, the raw sienna, and some white. And that's how you'll get the perfect sand color. And I'm hoping no one is going to ask me how to mix raw sienna because I feel like it's a very hard color to mix. So hopefully you have that color.
You just doomed yourself.
So I am going to start painting this sand here, and I'm gonna go right into the ocean. So I'm going right into here and blending the two colors together because I want it to look clear. I want it to look like the sea is transparent. And the further into the ocean you take it, the more transparent it's gonna look. So you decide where you want the water to start being murky.
I always there's a Clearwater Beach, Florida. We have a nomination.
Clearwater Beach, Florida?
Yeah.
Ooh, we
I've
should
heard of
go.
Clearwater. I always wondered like if it's held up to its name.
Apparently,
But you know,
Aisha says that it held up to its name, apparently. Okay, so you could see that it's blending the two colors together and it's looking transparent on the shoreline. And that's exactly what we want.
I like it. I like it a lot.
What do you think of the sand color? Does it look like a good sand color?
It does. It looks like a nice private island beach.
Okay. Dig it.
Putting me in a nice calm state. I'm a fan.
I forgot to drink for like the last half an hour. I was so focused on this.
I can't say I share your problem.
All right, so these few steps were done pretty quickly just because we want the paint to be wet so that way we could blend it. So if your paint is drying, I would just add the previous color that you did and then try to blend it. I think that made sense.
Perfect sense. I got it.
So let me just see if this dry. So this is pretty dry, I think. So I'm gonna go into this with a tape. So I'm gonna go into this with a tape. And this is totally optional. This just helps you make a perfectly straight line. So the key is to get the tape straight on here. So I'm gonna try to do this. It might not be perfect, and that's okay. So I'm taking this painter's tape and I'm just laying it across. Looks pretty straight to me, I think. So I'm just lightly just laying it across. And then I'm just gonna add a piece over here. And then I'm gonna take my small brush and I'm just gonna try to straighten out this horizon line. So I'm just gonna paint right underneath this tape. And I'll probably go into here and I'll probably do this again because I think my paint is not that dry yet. So the reason that we didn't do the tape in the beginning is because we started out with a sky. So you could add the tape whenever you want. It doesn't really matter as long as your paint at the top is dry.
Uh-huh.
So this looks pretty good. I just need to fix this little part over here and I could just cover it up with tape.
And there you go.
And there I go. So probably, I would say maybe wait a few more minutes to do this until your sky is perfectly dry. And you could do this all the way at the end if you want. I'm just rushing into it for some reason. But this is now looking a lot straighter, right?
Patience is a virtue, as they would say.
So, time for what?
I don't know.
Yes, it's time for the clouds.
I was gonna ask
You
the fan
ready?
brush, maybe.
What? The fan
Fan
brush?
brush.
Not yet. We're saving that till a little bit later.
Okay. I'll keep my excitement
Okay.
contained.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my large brush and we are gonna start working on the clouds. So a lot of people think that clouds are super hard to do, but I'll show you guys it's actually really easy. And you could make whatever clouds you want. So you could make them really fluffy, you could make them different shapes. It's super fun. Camera keeps shaking. Hold on, we can't hear you, Alex.
I think I'm back.
Okay, we're back.
So you're debunking the cloud myth.
I hope so.
I think so.
I hope once people try it out, they'll see that it's not
They're
that
like,
hard.
oh, this is easy.
I hope so. And the worst possible thing that could happen is you could cover up your clouds with the sky. So you could just paint over it with the light blue. And that's the worst thing that could possibly happen.
Boom,
Which isn't bad, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. You ready? So I'm going to dip my brush into white. And I'm just going to start creating these circular shapes at the top here where I want my first cloud to be. So I'm just taking my brush and going in a circular motion and kind of creating this cloud shape. So I'm adding these crazy bumps into my cloud. And feel free to get crazy with your shapes. And then I'm going to take more white and I'm going to add maybe a few more clouds in the background. So I'm just crunching my brush into the canvas. Did I just say crunching?
You certainly might have.
Does that even make sense?
We kind of went with it because we wanted you to have it.
Okay.
Or I was going to let you have it for sure.
So these clouds are actually pretty subtle. So then I'm going to maybe add more clouds underneath here. So I'm just going in circular motion, adding these shapes in. You want to make sure that they're overlapping each other.
Give a layering effect.
Yeah. So then this is kind of a technique that I like to do. So I like to just dry off my brush completely. So I'm just going to wipe it on my paper towel.
Another pro tip.
Sort of. So actually, if you guys use a bigger brush, so if you use like a 1-inch brush or even bigger, it actually creates an even better effect. So I'm going to just use this brush because I think it'll be fine. But if you have an even bigger brush, you could just use that as well. And you could compare the two and let me know. So I'm just going to brush over these clouds and soften them up a little bit. So you could brush down a little bit, you could brush sideways a little bit, so it just softens up these clouds. And it's kind of hard to see, but I'm softening up these colors a little bit. So these are very soft clouds. So then I could go back in here with my small brush and just do the same effect that I did, just doing kind of these circles with my brush. So for these highlights, so that way I could just get the shape of my clouds a little bit better. And these are the highlights of the tops of the clouds. So I'm just going in the circular motion and just adding more of a highlight at the top to define my cloud a little bit. And you could get really crazy with your shapes and all these bumps.
Nice fluffy clouds always present
So these are actually,
nice
these are
sky.
not even that fluffy. They're
They're a little
more,
fluffy.
they are? Okay, good.
Wow, just trying to, okay.
These are more subtle clouds. But I'll take fluffy.
There you go.
So we actually did a more detailed cloud tutorial a few months ago. It was for the painting Sound of Music, and those clouds were super fluffy. So if you guys are interested, we have that tutorial on YouTube, and there's a lot more of the cloud technique there. So if you want, you could take your dry brush again and go over this a little bit. And just lightly going over the canvas, just super, super lightly, and fading out the colors a little bit. So I think I'm gonna leave this side. I'm kind of okay with it. And I'm gonna start working on the other side of my sky. So you could continue adding clouds to the middle. You could really just go crazy with them. So I'm gonna go back to my large brush, and I'm just gonna go in here and just make the circles with my brush and create these shapes for my clouds.
The relaxation, the painting, they have lulled everyone into
A deep sleep.
a nice zen.
As long as you guys aren't sleeping, I'm good with a nice zen. And even though this part is pretty white, I'm gonna maybe add some clouds into here and maybe see if they even appear. They'll be super subtle. So I'm gonna try to do that technique over these clouds as well. So I'm gonna dry my brush and just brush a little bit down and sideways to soften them up a little bit.
side to side.
A little side to side. The sky looks much more pink than here for some reason. I don't know why, but I kind of dig it. How are you guys doing with your clouds? Let me know.
Hopefully they made some crazy color skies.
Yeah. And you could totally make your clouds different colors and
Really like serious.
yeah, I can't wait to see it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of white using my small brush now, and I'm gonna do the same technique where I add the white highlights on top of these clouds. And this is where you could change up the shape of your clouds if you want to. And automatically this cloud looks so much fluffier. And I could even go back in here and add more of these white highlights and fluffen these up a little bit. Fluffen? Is that a word? Fluff these up a little bit?
If you are trying to, you know, turn fluff into an adverb, then maybe. But I'm not as sure about it.
Okay.
But I like your creativity.
Creatively? Make up words creatively?
I wouldn't quite say that.
So I'm just going into here and just going in little circles with my small brush and adding more of these highlights. And just make sure that you're adding more and more bumps. And just remember, if you don't like the way that your fluffiness turned out, you could always just go back in and cover it up with the blue
If
once it's dry.
fluff levels were not to
Par.
sufficient standards.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Glad.
Gotta make sure to keep them fluffy.
So again, I don't know why I probably shouldn't have put this brush in water, but again, you could go over your clouds with the dry brush. And the larger your brush is, the more soft your clouds are gonna look. So I'm just drying this brush and I'm just gonna lightly sweep across my canvas and just soften up some of these highlights. And you could go vertically as well and drag the paint down a little bit. So fun, these clouds. Digging it. I could go crazy with them. I could make it a really cloudy day, but I don't want
But
to.
it's the beach, so you know.
I like cloudy beach days because then I don't get burned.
That's true.
No, I still do.
Listen, that reflection is real.
And if you guys want, you could add a sun to your sky. So you could add it behind the clouds or in the middle or wherever you want. So really just be super creative if you want. And then you could also add birds. I like adding birds.
What if a moon was coming out?
Or a moon. I was going to say moon. Should I try to fix this part a little bit? I'm going to try to cover this up with a little pink. And it's almost like it never happened. So I think now might be a good time to use your tape to straighten out your horizon line if your sky is completely dry. Or you could also do it at the end when everything is dry.
Now might be a really good time. Or you can just do it.
Or you could just wait till the end. I'm very impatient.
As they say.
I don't know, should I add more?
Patience is a virtue.
A constant reminder every day.
There you go.
Should I add more clouds? What do you think? No? Shaking his head. Okay, I'm gonna leave it.
Don't you blame this on me.
So we are almost ready for the fan brush.
I'm so ready.
So hold on, but question for you.
Oh my lord.
So before we move on to the fan brush, do you think I should show our next painting, or is it too soon?
Are we ready?
It hasn't even been an hour. Is
Are we
it too
ready
soon?
for this?
I don't know.
We might be ready for this. I'm
Are
excited.
we ready for this?
I'm excited.
Okay, well, you guys are getting the first look for our next painting.
Sneak peek. Hello.
Sneak peek of our July box. So this actually launched today, but we haven't posted on social media yet. We haven't shown it to anyone. So unless you've been on our website, chances are you have not seen it. And I'm actually super excited about this one. So let me change my screens. Okay, so the painting is actually right behind me. I'm gonna take this off. So this, oh, I don't know how to hold, okay, there we go. I was like, where's the camera? So this is our next painting, and this is actually the first time that we did a still life, because we got a lot of requests to do a still life, and we kind of refused for a long time, and finally we caved. So we are super excited about this one. It's super easy to paint. Surprisingly, the background is just as fun as painting this juicy watermelon. And it's such a feel-good painting. It just makes me so hungry.
It looks delicious. I smell other tools.
I smell it. I want to eat it.
Brushes. I'm excited.
So this is part of our July box. It's called Watermelon Sugar, appropriately. And yeah, look out for it. So we are going to be doing a live tutorial for that on the first Tuesday of July, which is on the 6th, I think. Let me see if I could try. Find me. There we go. Okay. Yes, and it uses a bokeh. Is that how you pronounce it? Bokeh?
What is
bokeh technique? It's basically the blurring of the background. So I forgot to show you guys. So let me, I don't know how to put it closer to this camera. So this is a bokeh technique where we're actually using our fingers. So we're doing a little bit of finger painting in here, and it's super fun.
Who doesn't like finger painting?
I don't know, no one.
What are you talking about?
I mean, no one doesn't like it, that's what I meant.
Okay. What are you talking about?
Okay. So guys, watch out for the next event. We're going to be posting it on Facebook very soon. Okay, are we ready for the fan brush?
Oh, baby, let's do this.
So if you guys don't have a fan brush, oh, I forgot to, tangent. So I forgot to mention that if you are a Creatively subscriber, you actually got the brush for free in your June box, which is a nice perk that Creatively subscribers get.
Hi-yo.
So you're slowly building up your collection of brushes, which is super awesome.
You need a good arsenal.
Yes. Okay. So if you guys don't have a fan brush, you could probably use your, whoo, I almost put it on my drink. Whoo, that was close. So you could probably use your large brush, and it's going to look slightly different. But you could probably get a pretty similar technique with this. But this fan brush is super cool. It has pretty hard bristles, so it's perfect for doing any type of mist or waterfalls or trees, like Bob Ross does it. So like the fan brush is perfect for Bob Ross trees. What else? And yeah, and obviously waves, because that's what we're doing right now.
There you go.
So I actually did not even put it in water. So you actually don't need water for this step. So I'm going to dip the edges of this into my white. Are you nervous, Alex? I'm a little
I'm
nervous.
on edge.
So I am gonna just go into here with my fan brush and just slowly start dabbing my canvas slightly and going in these curves. For my shore.
Are we dabbing?
We're dabbing a little bit. So I'm starting a little bit higher. So this is kind of in between the shore and the ocean. So that way it really looks like it's gonna be transparent. So I'm starting a little bit higher and then I'm probably gonna add more curves along the edge here. So I'm just dabbing this and it creates this misty look.
It does a little foamy.
Yeah, a little
The
foamy.
foam, the
Yeah.
foam of the waves.
So this is because these bristles are hard. So it creates this foaminess, which is super cool.
Another lovely verb that we created.
What? Foaminess?
Foaminess. Along with
I'm pretty
fluffer.
sure that's a word.
Flufferize.
Just like fluffing. So I'm gonna add another layer of this foam right underneath. So if your brush is bigger than this one, you could actually just use the side of your fan brush. So just using one area of this instead of using the full fan. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
I know.
Just gonna hold it in the middle. So you would just be using just the side or this side, whichever, instead of just using the entire fan. So definitely just experiment, see what it looks like on your canvas, and then you could change it up. And this technique takes a little bit to get used to. So just don't be too hard on yourself.
Just let it flow.
Let it flow. So I'm just dabbing my fan brush onto the shore here. I love the sound, and I don't think my mic picks it up, but it's such an amazing sound. Do you hear that, Alex?
I do. Is
It
that, are
actually
the
sounds
bristles
like
that hard?
yeah,
It almost sounds like little scratching almost.
yeah. It almost sounds like a rodent. It's
I was
like
going to say, like, literally just little.
if I heard that sound at night, that would not be good.
You would definitely send me out to look. You would not go anywhere.
So I'm just dabbing this here, and it's just creating this foamy, really cool effect. So then you could add some waves to your actual ocean. So just wherever. And so my waves are gonna sort of follow the direction of the shoreline. So my shoreline is going at a diagonal. So my waves are gonna be slightly diagonal as well. Let's see what happens. So depending on if you want calm oceans or pretty wavy with riptides, it's totally up to you. I'm just gonna keep on adding a few waves here and there using my fan brush. So I'm just dabbing it and creating these diagonal curvy lines.
Luna's trying to throw stones. I like it. Some beach glass, some stones, pebbles, and that'd be interesting if someone put some seashells on their
Yeah, I
beach.
was gonna say seashells would be really cool. So also just remember, if you placed a wave somewhere where you don't like how that wave looks or it's in the wrong place, you could always just let it dry and just cover it up with the paint afterwards. Just like I did with this little guy, but I actually need to paint over it again because it's coming through.
A little too much. That little guy?
That little guy.
Don't worry about that little guy.
So it really depends on how many waves you want.
It's 100% chance you have no idea what movie that was from.
Say that again?
Don't worry about it.
Say that little guy?
Don't worry about that little guy.
No clue.
I know. It's okay.
How many waves should we have?
How's the as the surfers would say, how's the swell? What a judgmental look that.
Not at all, never. I might want to add maybe a third row here. See what that looks like.
Some crashing waves.
Yeah, why not?
I like it.
If you guys are brave, you could probably use the fan brush for the clouds as well.
Wow.
Which
Plot twist.
which I haven't tried out yet, but I know it's possible.
That's like some serious advanced level stuff.
I don't think so. Why? This was not advanced. This is easy.
I don't know. It's off scheduled.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. Surprise ending. Fan brush for clouds.
So I'm gonna stop for now. And I might go back in here. Actually, I'm gonna do the shadows underneath some of these waves.
There you go.
So I'm gonna use this existing turquoise color, and I'm just gonna add some blue to it to make it a bit darker.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. So I'm just gonna go underneath these waves and just add some shadow to it. So I'm just going in horizontal strokes and just adding some shadow to it. So I think maybe this is even too dark. So I might lighten it up a little bit.
Lighten it up
And
a
then
bit.
I could always go back in with the turquoise and just cover it up if I want to.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. So I'm just adding shadows, my waves. So yeah,
You say now the waves look like they're
crashing,
larger waves.
like they're crashing a bit.
Yeah.
So I could actually go back in here with the turquoise. So I'm just gonna make a little bit more of the turquoise. Oh, wrong color.
The turquoise.
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 So I'm adding the white, a little bit of blue, a little bit of yellow. And you could actually go in here and just cover up some of this waves if you want. That's not the right color, so I'm going to try to mix it again. So just keep mixing it until I think I get something close. And then just go into here and see. Okay, this is pretty close. And you could just cover up some of these lines if you want to make it a bit more subtle. I've been using the word subtle a lot, I feel like. Then I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to add some more shadows underneath my waves. So I'm just adding these horizontal strokes right underneath my waves and kind of dragging out some of these lines to make the waves appear bigger. And I could add some of these darker blue lines to my ocean on the side here. Just to give this ocean a little bit more depth.
I like it.
You could go really crazy with your waves and just keep adding more and more.
Like a super wavy day.
That would ruin the piece a little bit, no?
Right, like that means the ocean's rough and maybe it's windy.
Maybe you don't want to swim there anymore.
Exactly.
I see you. So if you guys want at this point, if you want to add more fluffiness to your clouds, you could go back in with some of the white and do that. Right?
Oh yeah.
I don't think I want to do that, but that's always an option.
It's out
And
there.
you could
just in
always
case.
add some birds, you could add some seashells. What else can you add? Maybe a
You know,
dolphin?
my art teacher in grade school used to call them birds.
Birds?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Like as a joke or like for real?
No, like as a joke, but like he would call them during class. He was like the cool art teacher. He wasn't very artsy. The only male
Was he
one.
trying to be funny?
A little bit, yeah. You know, he would say instead of scissors, he would say skizzers, little skizzers,
Okay.
little birds.
Yeah. I get the skizzers. I don't get the birds.
You know.
Okay, interesting. Okay. On that note, so remember how I said that the ocean color is the most fun color to mix? I lied. So the most fun color to mix is going to be the light brown. So do you want to take any guesses on how we mix
Not
that?
even a little bit. Like
Does
not even a
anyone
little
want
bit.
to take any guesses on how we mix that? You
I
might
am
get
upset
extra
that you
brownie
fibbed though.
points.
I was like fully.
Well, I forgot for a second, and then I
Also, like,
remembered.
so you fibbed.
Does anyone want to take a stab?
At what are we
A
guessing?
light brown.
Light brown and white.
That's not an option on this palette.
But it's not
But that would have
entirely.
been a good guess. That's not a
But
bad
it's not
guess.
entirely wrong.
That's not wrong.
It's thinking creatively.
That's probably the least creatively thing. Brown and white. Okay, so you ready for this?
Blue, red, and Rosianna.
Wait, that's actually correct. How did you know?
Obviously.
How did you know? Okay, so we are gonna take some raw sienna. I'm gonna mix here so you guys can see it. We're gonna do some raw sienna, a little bit of blue. This is the coolest thing because it's so unexpected. So a little bit of blue and a little bit of red. And then you should get this brownish color. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it. Lighten it up a bit.
So what you're trying to say
Is
is
you're
that I was
correct.
right. Boom goes the dynamite.
So you guys could see it, but it's this brownish color and it's pretty light. So it's raw sienna, or you could use yellow. So you could definitely use yellow for this. So it's raw sienna or yellow, blue, red, and a little bit of white. So keep mixing the proportions until you get this brownish color and then add white to it. Is it there? So I am gonna add some shadows underneath these waves that are touching the shoreline. So I'm just gonna go in here and maybe it might be too dark, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna add a little bit more white to this color. So we're not going to add it everywhere, maybe in a few places. This is almost the final step. Can you believe that?
Don't even lie to me.
So if you guys are having a great time tonight, please hit like on the stream, and also please follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
What are our names?
At Creatively Box for both, and for YouTube as well.
All the above.
All of the above. So Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Please give us a follow. We'll really appreciate it. Subscribe.
And tag us. We want to see what they
And
did.
please tag us. I was about to say that next.
Thank you. Sorry.
So we always ask that you guys post what you created on social, either on Instagram or Facebook, and tag us, or use the hashtag CreativelyBox. That way we'll be able to see what you created, and we'll be able to share it on our own social media. So if you want to just cover up maybe some of these shadows, you could go back in here with the raw sienna and the white, which you mixed for the sand, and just maybe cover up some of the darker parts if you want. So I'm just gonna try to cover up this spot over here first, because it's bothering me a little bit. So I'm just gonna go over here with pink.
We'll cover up.
We'll cover up a little white
Well,
out.
hey,
actually.
how you doing?
So then the last step, guys, is gonna be to sign your name, and your name is part of this artwork. So figure out where you want to place it. If it's at the bottom next to the sand, if it's at the top.
It could be part of the ocean.
It could be part of the ocean. So yeah.
Deep in the clouds.
Yes.
I like it.
So
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico in the house.
Oh yeah.
So thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget to share what you created on social and tag us at CreativelyBox or hashtag CreativelyBox. And if you guys had a great time tonight, give us a like on the stream. And also you could leave a review on our Facebook page. It really helps us grow, and we would really appreciate it.
And we will see you
And
next
we
month.
will see you next month, July 6th. Yes. Bye, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.